So layering, you take your lightest color that you're going to use and you put it all over everything. When you blend, you put the dark ones first, and then you go over with the lighter one and try to blend it all together.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That, which works with those expensive pencils because they're soft and the wax moves.
Now that we've had this discussion, I think I really need to change my artwork.
The nice thing about chalk and pastels, it comes off with an eraser.
Welcome back to the Wax Quill Podcast. Woohoo!
My friends, today I have a friend of mine, a new friend. She goes to my church, and now we're friends.
Yay!
So, would you like to introduce yourself? What's your name?
So my name's Lizette Porter.
Lizette Porter. Here,
Yes.
let's scoot this a little bit closer. Yes. Go on.
I'm a medical assistant by profession. Of course, a mom and a grandma,
Yay.
sister, daughter, all the above.
Child of God.
Yeah, exactly. And in my spare time, I love to color and draw.
Yes. So we are going to look at our art, and we are going to share. I want to show you guys kind of what I've been up to, because I told you I was illustrating something. And then I want to talk about all the things art-wise.
Okay.
Yes.
Where do you want to start?
At the beginning. Start at the beginning.
So let me show you these, I guess. These have been, let me see, look at the dates.
Oh, 17. Okay, 2017.
And
oh, he looks so happy.
Yes. I mean, I was trying something out there. There's trials, like I try something and there's like finished things. I have a thing for dragons. Don't ask me why. I love drawing them.
Who doesn't have a thing for dragons?
Right?
Everyone should have a thing for dragons.
Right? That one's not very good, but hey, I claim it. See, a lot of dragons. Try to draw people.
Profiles.
I have a hard time with people. I have to say that. Disclaimer there. Proportions and placement of things. Finally getting it through my thick skull that you have to like draw your shape and do your.
You have to make it ugly first.
Right. You mark your places and then you go accordingly. Because sometimes you look at people and they seem like they naturally know where to put things. They sit there and they don't like measure, they don't do anything, and you're like, how they do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a lot of cutesy stuff.
Oh, love that one.
That's
pretty.
That one's not too bad. And that one's not too bad either. I still try. There's this other grumpy guy there. Here, where do you go? Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Right.
That's a good one.
Right. Yeah. And then let's see. That's from a story I was reading. The author put that illustration. I thought I can do that too. And there it is. And that, where did I see that? I can't remember now. But I love this little guy.
The hedgehogs.
Yes, I think he's cute. Nice Groot.
Feels like Groot.
I mean, I got all kinds of stuff. Little frogs. That's just one day. My God, this is fun. Did it. Got these little guys.
Well, that's a good cat.
Yes. I like this guy too. I think he's cute. And some flowers there. And more dragons. And ladybugs. And this little grumpy guy with sharp teeth.
Very sharp.
And this little cute little guy. And these funny guys.
From the Pixar, right?
I think
birds
so.
Or something.
I think so. I just saw the picture and I thought these were funny because look at their faces, they're all over the place. And he's a little sad. And he's a little surprised. This is like from a manga comic. Not quite in the places where it needs to be, but it doesn't look too bad. And that's the little tappy stuffed animal, this chibi style.
Oh, that's what that's called, chibi style. Okay.
Yeah, the Japanese
Mm-hmm.
chibi, I think is they're
They're-
so cute.
They're adorable.
Yes, so the big heads with the little bodies.
Mm.
And then this little,
I love that one.
I
I
know.
love how his legs are like round.
Yes,
They look like balloons.
yes, I love this
Love that.
one too. And I think these guys are way cute. I love it. In fact, I got a book. I've colored a couple ones, but I like this little guy
And these are from
too.
this year.
Oh, these are, yes.
I can tell the other ones are good, but these ones are much more fleshed out, much more
Right.
detailed.
No, this one I can claim from my head.
So nice.
Right, just like, let me make a mushroom house and see how it turns out. And this one, it's not from my head, but close. And this one, I like this
That's
one 'cause
adorable.
I thought I'm gonna color it. I actually got to use a marker,
Mhm.
line it all out and color it. This is an exercise from a drawing book I'm reading.
There's more shading here.
Yes, I probably need it. You know, that's the thing about shading. It's something I didn't used to do. And the more I read and see, the more I realize you need a lot of it. And every time I think I'm done, then I look at, no, I need some more. Let me go back. And then I look at it again, it's like, maybe I need even a little bit more. So, then I was trying to do you've seen that style where they take like all the dark spaces and do that. And then another exercise, trying to do the hair, different textures of hair. I do
Lip
this
proportions.
upside down too.
Mm.
Yeah, like, and then by the time you're done, like, oh, it's a lip, you know. This one's also an exercise that you have to do upside down. That's why it's upside down.
Interesting.
And that's the end of that one.
Very interesting.
Uh,
So
it's-
I noticed you have sketchbooks and coloring books.
right,
Tell me all the things.
all the things. Well, like I said, I like drawing. I've always liked drawing, even since I was a kid. And then life happens. You quit or you don't do it hardly ever. In fact, many years went by, I didn't do anything. And then one day, this was about, I want to say 20 years ago. My kids were young, and how did this all happen? It's kind of weird. This lady brought these papers that she wanted me to fold, and the papers were kind of big, and there were some left over. And for some reason, I thought if you turn them over, you can draw in these because they're so big and they're pretty thick. I don't know why I thought that. And like I said, my kids were young and they had all things Disney. And of course, who doesn't love Disney, right? So I grabbed, they had a lot of coloring books, they had the movies, they had all kinds of stuff. I thought, let me grab one of these things. And I started doing all these Disney scenes and Disney characters on these. I started on these papers that were on the other side. They had stuff printed on them. I had a nice stack of them, and then I thought, when am I gonna buy me a sketchbook? And so I bought some sketchbooks and some pencils, and next thing you know, I was doing some of that stuff. Then we moved here, and I kind of dropped it again, but I still didn't take very long. I bought some more sketchbooks, and even if it's just every so often, I would draw something, and I go in spurts kind of to where I draw, and then I quit, and then draw, and I quit. But like I said, lately I've been doing the coloring thing too. And let me tell you how that started.
Yes.
So I was at Sam's Club one day, and I've been buying these planners, but I thought the one I bought is like, it's kind of spendy. I don't want to get that one. I was getting it from Amazon, but it was because it had pictures of a show I like. I thought it's expensive, and I saw this one for like $8, and I thought it's an 18-month one. So I got it, and and then I looked at it, and it's a coloring one. I'm like, a coloring planner? Who would have thought? So I started coloring. And like I said, I'm a work in progress. All these are like normal, nothing special, right? And as time goes by, let me see. I think, was it June? See, I feel like this is my turnaround time, because I went from that, right, to this. I'm thinking, wow, I like that. And I try to, it doesn't always work out that way, and I've skipped things, but I've kind of changed the way I color. And I think it's just nicer now. I think I'm getting better. You see, I kind of like that one.
More shading, more colors in a single space.
Right, exactly. Technically, when you want to have this effect on your coloring, you use at least 3 different pencils on one area.
Really?
Sometimes 4. Look at that one.
Oh.
I feel like it's just so different from this back here.
Which are nice, but they're very
flat.
Flat, yes.
Right?
Almost predictable.
Exactly. Exactly. I think they're very flat. It's a little different there too. But yeah, I was still trying to figure things out. Look at that one. So I thought, and I get a little impatient sometimes. I think coloring's teaching me patience.
This is why I can't. I've never gotten one of these books, because I think I would just go insane.
Really?
I'd be like,
that's what your mom told me too. She's like, there's so many details, so small, so many things. It's too busy. Oh, I will go crazy.
Yeah.
And yes, I am kind of like that too. I have to admit. But I've kind of like saying, no, I'm gonna take the time. We're gonna do this the right way. And I don't want to use the word force, but I have made myself, is that the end of that one? I think so. I did one the other day that I thought turned out really good. So I bought another one of these because this ends in December. Although this one is kind of all over the place. So a little better, not quite.
It looks like 2 colors in each for most of
right,
that.
for most of it. And then let me see.
Oh, like that one.
Right. And then I have to finish that one. But I like kind of how it turns out, because you got all the contrasts. And I did start things. Sometimes I don't finish them. God, that one's not too bad. I kind of like that one.
I love how those leaves look.
I know, it's in coloring and drawing too. Paper quality is everything.
Really?
I feel like it is, because not all color pencils are created equal. I'll tell you that much too.
with colored pencils, all I've noticed is that some seem to have more wax than they do
Yes.
color. What else is different
Yes.
about them?
I mean, like the Prismacolors. I don't know if you ever heard of those.
I've heard of them.
They're very waxy. They have a lot of pigment too, though, and they're very waxy. They're super soft, and they're like, so nice to color with. But like your Crayolas and all them cheaper ones they're wax based too, but they're harder for some reason. And I feel like you have to like really press.
It's like you're scratching the paper.
To get, and especially when you have cheaper paper like this, how can I explain it? Like when you press hard, you deposit all the color that it's going to take, and you can't do anything else. Do you know what I'm saying? So but I think if you learn, because these is with all the cheap ones. Because I have a set of expensive one, because those Prismacolors are very pricey. I'll tell you that much. And they're not to some people are kind of middle of the way, because there's even more expensive ones.
There's
out
always
there.
more expensive art stuff.
There's some that are like close to $200 for a set of, is it 72 or 100 and something, like low hundreds. I'm like, I'm gonna buy those. But I did spring for the Prismacolors, and they're awesome. But I have to say, sometimes I press a little too hard because I'm used to the cheap ones. And sometimes things come a little dark. But like I said, I'm a work in progress. So, but I think if you learn how to handle your cheap pencils, you can do anything. I mean, you can do anything with any of the pencils. I think the biggest difference is like with those expensive pencils, you can like layer versus blending, because there's a difference between blending and layering, I found out.
What is the difference?
So layering, you take your lightest color that you're going to use, and you put it all over everything.
Okay,
like,
lightest first.
Right, like if I could put the lightest green in here, and then you have two more colors, so you do your edges with the medium color, right?
Okay.
Kind of towards the middle, and then you get a third color and go on the edges, like, but they have to be in the same family, kind of different shades, darker shades of the same color. So you put your darkest on the very edge. When you blend, you put the dark ones first, and then you go over with the lighter one and try to blend it all together.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That, which works with those expensive pencils because they're soft and the wax moves. Oh, and there's this little magic tool too called a colorless blender. It's a pencil that has no color. It has a lead, but no color, right? It's wax, probably wax too. And you go over everything after you color it, and it kind of like smooths the wax over, so it all looks smooth like this. Although I did not use, because you have to press so hard with the cheap pencils that you don't need a blender.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Let me show you. And then there's this one. I kind of like this one too. This one here. Sometimes with this one, I used chalk. I put chalk here and chalk here and here.
Okay, hold on. My experience with chalk is the mineral that grows in mountains, that is in mountains that you can, mine out of there, and the stuff that you use on the sidewalk, and it gets all over your hands.
Yep. It's the same, the one and the same. So for backgrounds, like, let me show you.
What do they even look like?
So I have three different things. I have gel crayons, which I didn't even know existed till recently. Yeah, gel crayons. They're they're super soft, and you can like put it on a surface. You just kind of scratch it on a surface and take a brush. And then you kind of pick it up and smooth it on paper, and that's your background. So you do backgrounds with gel crayons. You can do it with pastels. They're like chalk, but they are way more intense, or the pigments are way more intense. But I was experimenting. Now it happened to be a Dilly Dollies the other day, and they had colored chalk, like the stuff you have in your classroom, right? I thought, I'm gonna try that. So I pulled one out, and did I use chalk for? No, I used the gel crayons for this. I used three different colors. I used blue, purple, and pink.
Can I touch it?
Yes. And it doesn't even, I know you put it on and it doesn't feel like anything. And they tell you to put fixative on it. They're like, you don't need it.
So this is chalk.
This is gel crayon.
Holy
I
moly.
think I've only done two in this one. The other one is, I think, the soft pastels. Or was it chalk too?
See, looking at these, it's like, ooh, I want to color them, but I would go insane.
I know, right?
Even with drawing, I'll draw something, and then after about 2 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever.
So
I have to rededicate myself.
I'm
Oh,
pretty
so good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was. You know what? I like this is a gel crayon too.
It doesn't look crayony at all.
I know, because I think it's just because the way you apply it.
It's crazy.
And then like for this one side, I saw this other planner and I'm gonna ditch this one for this one. This one starts in January. This lady, wonderful books, but they're very busy. Very, very busy. See, in here, I use chalk. I took a piece of chalk, like the one you write on the chalkboard with.
Chalkboard. That's another kind of chalk. You're right. Forgot about that one.
Right, and you can rub it, right, and then you take like a makeup sponge, smooth it out.
Do you have dust everywhere afterwards?
If you're not careful, yes. I mean, it gets a little dusty, but you just gotta blow it away. And some with the soft pastels, you can take them and they're similar to chalk, but they're softer, way softer and more pigmented than chalk. And you can take like a little X-Acto knife and scrape and make dust out of it and take your sponge or a cotton ball or something and then apply it. And I did it over here too on the edge. Then I use some gel pens on that and pencils and all kinds of stuff. And this
that's
one,
beautiful.
thank you. Oh, pencil, because colored
So
pencil is
pretty.
my go-to. I was telling your mom, but I'm not past using markers, gel pens, then use the pastels, the crayons, and all that for the backgrounds. I used I started with the crayon and it just wasn't working. And I think I wiped some of it off and then I took the soft pastels and did that. Yeah, I've only color 3 on that one.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Now that we've had this discussion, I think I really need to change my artwork. We're gonna switch gears. I want to show you some of my things and ask for your advice.
Please.
So I wrote a children's book.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, instead of paying for someone to illustrate it, I should just illustrate it. It'll be
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
How hard could it possibly be?
like I said, it seems easy. Some people make it look easy, but next thing you know,
Well, it's been 3 months. 2 months since I started, and I have like 6 of them done. And I have like 30 planned pages.
oh
So
wow.
anyway, yeah, and I have no idea how to do this,
But-
right?
Well, let me tell you this though, the fact that they're original from you and you wrote this story and you're making the illustrations, it doesn't, in the end, it almost doesn't even really matter because it goes together. It's your original.
I hope so.
But
I
I
just
think this looks good.
I love like color. If we're gonna have color there, then bring it out.
Yes.
So
Well,
this is
see?
a chaotic scene where he's realizing that his life is wrong. And so I wanted to show, a lot of mistakes and waves and different shades and things. So that's why it's so complicated. But then I'm like looking at those chalk backgrounds thinking, holy moly, I spend way too much time on these backgrounds.
But yeah, you
chalk.
can use chalk or you can use the soft pastels have a little more intense color. The chalks are a little weak, but so if you want like a very soft background, then yes, use the soft pastels and the chalk. But you also can use, I don't know if this is another thing I found out. There are watercolor pencils, color pencils.
I don't have watercolor pencils. I have markers though. I haven't used them on here.
Right.
Yet.
So I think you're supposed to be able to do that with the markers too. So like
Mhm.
you can lay your base with a pencil or the marker, and then you very control with a little bit of water, just kind of blend it all in and soften the edges and all that.
Yeah, I've done experiments
like
with the
that, though.
markers. Like, okay, let's talk colored pencils. This one I was experimenting. This is actually not going to go in the book, but I used colored pencils. I hate.
Did you see the white?
You can see the white.
That's when that colorless blender pencil.
That's when I'll get it.
Yes. And sometimes though, like I've done like, I don't know if you remember the one with the like all the seashells. So I drew that or not drew, I color that and I noticed some white. So I just go over it again with the pencil. So sometimes you just kind of go over, you have to do like 2, maybe 3 layers. And if you got the cheaper pencils, you have to push a little harder.
Gotcha.
But
so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, you can when you do the blending, like if you like put the dark and then you come with another color, and then when you lay down the lightest color, because I told you blending is like dark, medium, and your lighter shade. For some reason, the lighter color, when you go over everything with the lighter color, it kind of like brings it all together, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, you can tell here, I picked, like here, I think I did 2 colors because I was like, no, it's too dark. And I went over it again. But yeah, it's the same blue. I'm sure you noticed that. I didn't think that was a big deal, but looking at yours, this is so flat. Just
No,
like you said.
Hey, we're all a work in progress here.
Well, I had no idea.
And after you whatchamacallit, if you like take your pencil and go over it again till you can't see the white, you can see blue is kind of a darker color. You can take your black pencil and just kind of go very lightly. I mean, like go as you sharpen it so you get a very fine line, and you just kind of go over the lines that you already have.
Okay.
And that kind of creates a shadow. That's kind of, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what I have going on in here with those leaves. Was that in this book?
So
Yeah.
look, I have a dark pencil
Yeah.
right here. This is like super cheap. I don't even want to tell you how cheap it was.
Hey,
But so would you kind of go like this, or do you just do a straight line here?
so when so most of the time you do the circle thing, but
Oh,
when you're doing the very edges, I think you can just go straight line. You see, like, can you see the black on this?
here, bring it close. May I hold it? Let's see. Let's see. Look at this real close. There it is. Yeah, it didn't look black from there.
Because it looks like a shadow, right?
It's like a shadow. Uh-huh. It just looks like a plump leaf.
Yeah, exactly. It adds dimension.
Very nice. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I got so far to
Hey,
go.
like I said, I get hyper focused and I will find out anything and everything I can.
Holy moly. Maybe there's hope for this image after all. But yeah, I gave up and I was like, no more colored pencils. And I'm just stuck with the watercolors. Like this one, he's supposed to have that. He's
Yeah,
supposed to be covered in that. But yeah.
I like that. Look at that. You got your,
You got a little foot,
yes,
toes.
I love it. I think these are nice.
Oh, well, thank you.
I like it. See, you got your darker
Mhm.
and your lighter.
Yeah, and this one, and I was gonna make her a bit darker right around the middle. I don't know if I need
And
to.
if you want to, you can find a shade in between your lighter and this your darkest, and just kind of go over a little bit around the edge of this
Okay.
dark one, and that kind of gives it a more gradual shift, if you know
Gotcha.
what I mean.
Okay, well, look here. I did this with watercolor, right?
Right.
And then I made a really big mistake,
Uh-oh.
which is on camera, but I was doing the background, and because I figured I do backgrounds first. I don't know
Right.
if that's the right way to do it, but that's what I do. And then I had this outline. Well, I wanted, because he's frustrated here, so I wanted these little speckles on here,
Right.
right?
Right.
Well, I ended up getting them on where the cat needs to be, and I didn't even
Oh,
notice.
no.
So she's supposed to have white fur here, but
Right.
if you look, you can see
Oh yeah,
there's all the
just
little
a little
spots.
speckles. Hey,
How
it
do I
happens.
fix that?
So with watercolor, I'm not so sure. I know that the nice thing about chalk and pastels, it comes off with an eraser.
Ugh.
Yeah, very easily, I might add too. Not so sure about the crayons, the gel crayons. But and then the other thing for me too is because I do not watercolors, I do color pencils and they're waxy. I like to do, I'll color my subject or do my coloring and then add the background, because I feel like the wax will keep the chalk or the pastel from depositing in there, especially where you've already like put deposited enough color in that spot that the paper's not going to take anymore. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever heard of the tooth of the paper? I never even heard of such a thing.
I didn't know paper had teeth.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought too. It's like, teeth, paper, what? But that's referring to the texture. Because some paper is like really heavy.
I feel like, is this heavy? I feel like this is heavy.
This is really good.
Okay.
This is good because it's heavy. But see, like take a coloring book like this one. This has to be the cheapest, thinnest paper ever created.
I can see through it.
Exactly, right?
That's all for today, friends. Stay tuned for part 2 because we start talking about storytelling and it's going to be great. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.